What's up, guys? This is Chris Dodson, and you're watching Sunfire Films TV.
Once again, I'm super blessed, super grateful to know so many talented, wonderful people in this city. I definitely got one of those people with me today. You know, he's one of those people that I heard about him way before I actually got to meet him. He's one of those people that I always heard stories about how talented he was and how great of a guitarist he is. And there's been several stories about how he opened up doors for other musicians in the city and helped them out when other people wouldn't. You know, I got to work with him a few times, directly and indirectly. You know, I know about him a little bit. I'm gonna get to know him a little bit better. You're gonna get to know him a little bit better. Today I have with me the musician, the guitarist, the singer, the producer, Chris Dodson.
That's a pretty badass intro, man.
I be trying, man.
Thank you for that.
I be putting hard work into these
Thank
things.
you. Appreciate that.
Man. So I guess we start with, if somebody asked you, who is Chris Dodson, what would you say?
I'm just the person that's trying to be better than the person I was yesterday.
Right. I appreciate that, man. Simple, easy.
And I'm pretty much, in the words of Matthew McConaughey, my hero is the version of me 10 years from now.
Wow. That's pretty deep, man.
Yeah. I didn't come up with that.
Yeah, but it's still
I read a lot of books, so I read his autobiography, and that's where I got that from. And I thought that was pretty touching and pretty moving, and I kept that in the memory.
Right. So would you say that you're better than who you were 10 years ago?
Absolutely.
Absolutely?
I mean, I've got a lot to work on, but absolutely. Yeah. What was I, 31, 10 years? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm in a much better position. I'm much financially, mentally, physically. Well, I don't know about physically, but...
Yeah. That's good. Well, and we're going to keep pushing forward and see what happens 10 years from now, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
10 years from now, I can't wait to see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to go back, man. You from Beaufort?
From Beaufort, yep.
Beaufort, South
grew up in a
Carolina.
military family, but really settled in Beaufort in the Low Country about 3 years ago.
So you would say that's your
Yeah,
hometown?
that's my hometown. That's where I claim to be from.
Okay. What is that like? I've been out there a few times. I've been to Beaufort,
Beaufort is
Bluffton.
it's a small, charming Charleston. That's what it is. It's like if Charleston had a baby or a child. That's what Beaufort is. It's a coastal town. It's an island. It's got that charm that Charleston used to have, and
Used to have.
I go back pretty frequently.
So you go down there, see all your friends and family and all that?
No, just family.
Family?
Just parents. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think I have any friends left there. I hope they don't live there still.
They moved away.
I hope they moved away.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, the world is a lot. I mean, I know I didn't move too far away, but I definitely traveled the world, and I think you should leave your hometown and see what the world has to offer.
Yeah, I've been down there a few times, Hilton Head and Bluffton.
Yeah,
and
Bluffton's
all of
awesome. Hilton Head's great. Savannah's amazing. I love going back to Savannah. Mm-hmm. I love Palmetto Bluff. I mean, the Low Country minus Myrtle Beach is a beautiful place.
Minus Myrtle Beach.
Yeah, Myrtle Beach.
We're going to keep it positive. We're going to keep it positive, man. Let's not talk about our Myrtle Beach people. But, yeah, man,
I mean, hey, you can get some good crabs in the Low Country, and you can get some bad crabs in Myrtle Beach.
Wow. Wow. Okay. So, what made you want to move down to Charleston?
Well, I went to Winthrop University for school. Okay. I majored in journalism.
Okay.
I went on a music scholarship, but I chickened out because I thought I wouldn't find a job. So there's that. Mm-hmm. And this is in the early 2000s, and I moved to Charleston as soon as I graduated from college. I moved down to Mount Pleasant, where I moved in. I was 22. Wait. No, I was 21 when I moved to Charleston.
Okay.
and had no idea what to do with my life. I started waiting tables, and then I moved to Europe. I moved to Spain for a summer to work or to study to take some classes.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to get out and travel. I was like, I don't want to do this. I want to travel. So I did some traveling. And I came back to Charleston, worked for the Post and Courier for like 6 years.
So what were you doing there?
I was in advertising, sales. I did a little bit of writing. And then I worked for a law office as a courier on my feet. I got to really see downtown Charleston and meet. I worked for a law firm, so I got to know all the lawyers in downtown Charleston. Luckily, I haven't had to use any of these lawyers. So, and then I went to Benefit Focus on Daniel Island.
Okay,
That's where I met my wife, Sarah.
What's Benefit? What's that?
It's like a liaison for medical insurance.
Okay.
So it's a company. It's a soul-sucking job. No offense to anybody that still works there, but I've played all their weddings. Anybody that still works there, I've played their weddings, which is a nice little gesture, nice little, And then one day I woke up and I was like, I want to be a full-time musician. I was like, I don't want to.
Going too fast.
I'm going too fast.
You're going too fast. You got to slow the story down. When did music become a major part of your life?
Probably around 8, 9 years old. I got a little Casio keyboard. I started messing with that. Then I became interested in classical music. So I gravitated towards the violin, and then when I moved to Beaufort, they had a strings program at my elementary school.
Right.
And what's funny is I started playing the violin, and the woman that taught me the violin, I actually reconnected with her about 3 weeks ago.
Wow.
It's crazy, like through Facebook. So Facebook has some pluses.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm going to go off on a couple tangents here, and I'll circle back, don't worry. But it's crazy how social media can be good and bad. But for the good things, I reconnected with some people. So back then, she was 30, and I'm 41. And now she's 60. It's crazy. Anyway, so I started with the violin, and then I moved to the French horn in middle school, and then the upright bass in middle school.
Okay.
And then I picked up the guitar in the summer of 1995, and never looked back.
Never looked back. And you just loved it.
Loved it, every minute of it. Still love it.
Yeah.
Still love the guitar. Still play with it every day. It's there. It's not going to go away. It's undefined. You can't master the instrument. Nobody can. Nobody's ever mastered any instrument.
Yeah. So let's talk about how, I guess, we all have the phase of being bad before you're good. So like talk about those early days of you getting out there and playing the guitar and how did you first start getting into that and getting gigs and everything?
Well, I think my very first gig was when I was 14. I was in a little punk rock band with actually 2 girls and 2 guys. It was crazy. So I was rocking out with some girls in the mid 90s. We did a Halloween party. And then we just did little parties. I mean, these gigs were 5 songs. They weren't 3-hour gigs. There's no way I had enough material. So I'm playing power chords, basic Nirvana, Green Day, Weezer kind of music, just downstrokes. Nothing complicated, nothing too complicated. And then, I just started forming bands and I just started playing gigs, and then, it just develops over the years. You put in your 10,000 hours. I've definitely put in my 10,000 hours for performance. Right. So I'm I can perform anywhere in front of anybody, and no butterflies. The nerves are long gone.
Yeah. When did you feel like you looked at what you were doing and realized that you were starting to get really good at it?
I would say honestly, not until I started gigging in Charleston, because I hadn't had that much experience. I mean, I did play gigs. Right, I did play gigs in high school, in college, and in middle school, or a little bit of middle school when I first started. But I really didn't I wouldn't say, I'm not saying master. I'm just saying getting very comfortable playing in front of people. Not until I was in my early 20s, mid 20s.
Do you remember any of those first gigs?
Yeah, playing at the old Beer Works and Silver Dollar. Those are all those, all the good memories of, seeing people just dance and bar fights and people taking shots and just staying up till like 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, packing up my gear and then having to go to work the next day.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I could do in my 20s. You know, and it was a struggle. I was, you know, still learning how to play the instrument and learning how to play with a band and, you know, trying to write my own music.
Right.
But you know, you get better gigs as you go. You start doing weddings and corporate parties. You start doing get solo gigs. You start playing duo gigs. You know, different types of music, and you work with people that are better than you.
Yeah.
You know, like somebody like Marky or you know anybody in this town.
Right.
You want to be you want to be the weak. If you're the weakest link in the band, then you're in a good spot, I think.
Yeah.
So you want to try and find people that are better than you.
Yeah, that's like how they say, if you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room. You got to be in places where people are better than you and they're going to challenge you to make you grow.
Yeah, that's with everything in life, I think. That's what I'm doing right now with production. I guess I'm going too far.
Going too fast.
I'm going too fast, huh?
You're just taking over. Taking over. So you said you went full time. And I know there's people out there that's their dream. It's their dream to even gig, but people want to play full time. People want to get to the point that like the things that they love to do, they can make a living off of that. So how did that happen? And I guess talk about the beginning and the struggles of that.
You accumulate the time and the hours for that. You know, you don't just become an overnight success, or you don't become full time overnight. It takes years to get to that point because you got to build the repertoire and the catalog of songs that you want to learn. You have to have a certain amount of songs to be a full-time musician. You have to be comfortable. Like, you got to be able to do it in your sleep, I think. And if you're starting out, my recommendation is just to learn 40 songs and know them inside and out. And start booking gigs, start cold calling, start walking in, make promo videos, get a professional photographer. Because back then, I didn't have a website. I didn't have a website till 2013, if you can believe that. So that's when I went full time. The minute I went full time, I started building content. So this is the beginning of social media when it took off, in the early 2010s.
So how long you been full time so far?
So August 13, 2013 is when I went full time. That was my first day. So I've celebrated 10 years this past year.
Man. That's big, man.
And so now what I recommend doing is just putting the time in. That's all about practice.
Right.
Practice.
So were you already kind of?
Yeah, I was already playing like 3-4 nights a week.
So you were already confident that everything was gonna be okay.
Yeah.
So there really wasn't a lot of struggles going into being full time.
No, the minute I went full time, things have been pretty. Yeah, I haven't really had any downslips. Yeah, I haven't. Yeah, of course I've had some downslips. Like the pandemic really screwed up just about everybody. But I found loopholes around that. But no, like usually the slow season, like January and February, is when I start to like panic. So right after Christmas, the week between Christmas and New Year's is when I start to panic. I'm like, okay, things are about to slow down. The money's about to slow down. This is where I have to watch my spending. This is where I have to, don't drop the ball on anything. I've always tried and stay professional. Always try and have, leave on good terms with people. Always try and, be as professional as I can. That way I can continue to work. And because, once you mess up once, and people hear about it, then it's, you gotta have to relocate, or you have to find other ways to make money, or even find other places to play if you want to continue being a musician. Yeah.
So I wanted to ask you, this is a question that I ask people from time to time, that like, you're gigging and I know you love what you do and we all appreciate like the gigs that we get and everything like that. But in your mind, is there a point where you feel like, trying to word this the right way, the gigs get to a point where you don't want to necessarily do, like, the bars and the clubs get to a point where I guess a lot of people don't want to do them anymore. So like, do you feel like there's a cutoff point where I guess like you should make the transition or try to make the transition to be like, I don't want to do bars and clubs anymore. I would rather just do the private events, the corporate events, the weddings. Like, what do you feel about just getting to that point where that bar scene and club scene is something that people shouldn't really be focused on?
I think you have to do some public gigs to keep your presence out there, to have people, want to book you. You want to. A lot of my gigs are just either word of mouth or people just go out and see me. It's just so like every gig is an audition for another gig. So like, for example, let's say if I play Charleston Sports Pub, which I'm actually playing there, coming up, I'm playing there, and it's not my ideal place to play. Like I'll play any place, but you tell them what you want as a price. Like this is what I'm gonna do. This is what I want. I'll do it. No gig is beneath me, okay? Let's put that out there. No gig is beneath me, but I do have a price limit, all right? But yes, there is I don't really want to play out till 1 o'clock in the morning anymore. Yeah. Especially if I'm hauling equipment, especially if I have to be the lead singer, okay? I will not do that. However, I will play. I'll gladly walk in with just my guitar, my amp, and play till 1 o'clock in the morning because I love playing guitar. But singing is there's a lot of physical attributes to that. Like it's exhausting to sing till 1 o'clock in the morning, especially if you've already done a gig before. But yeah, I mean, at some point, I'd like to just do nothing but private gigs. I mean, I think every musician wants to get to that point. Leave the bars to the 20-somethings, the early 30-somethings. I don't mind doing restaurants because restaurants, a lot of high-end people walk in there. A lot of people actually want to listen to music. They tip well. I love playing at High Cotton on Monday nights. I love playing at the Mills House on Thursday nights. Those are two great, I'm grateful to have those gigs every time I walk in because, part of me with this job, and I think any entrepreneur or anybody who's self-employed, they get a little anxious every week. They think like, when's this all going to end? This is too good to be true. And I have that mentality with this. Every week the past 10 years, like what's going to happen this week? But then I kind of just tuck it away and just, I keep continuing with my day, keep moving forward. I stay busy, so I don't think like that.
Yeah, I always felt, I mean, everybody has their own mission, own dream, own goals, but I just, I look sometimes at people and they're at these bars and it's like, okay, how long are you going to do this for? And I think a lot of times people get comfortable to the point that they don't look at it the way maybe I look at it or other people look at it as far as I'm doing what I love to do and I'm getting paid to do it. But I know a lot of people who do these gigs and it's you have to do 4, 5, 6 gigs a week to make good money. So if you didn't do those gigs, you would probably not be in such of a great position. So I'm how long do you go to the point that you're I don't want to do this anymore. I want to do only private events.
Well,
how do you get to that point?
How do you get to that point?
I know some people who have made that transition where they're I don't do bars anymore. I only do private events. So
Well, you have to get to a point where your inbox and your phone is ringing off the hook for private events. And while I'm almost there, I'm not quite there yet. So I still have to play, I still have to fill some holes in my calendar because I do have expenses that I pay for that are helping me for future endeavors at this point. So I do, have trips that I've paid for that I want to take this summer and this coming Christmas. I do have, I have business coaches. I have expenses like mentors that are paying me for other parts of music that I'm studying. So I kind of have to, fill those holes, and not literally, but with the holes in my calendar. Hey, I've got an open date here. I might as well just work. I don't want to be at home, because if I'm at home, I'm not making any money.
Yeah.
I do have time. There are days where I designate, time with my family, time with my dogs, time for other activities outside of music. But yeah, I'm here to work. I'm here to make money.
Yeah.
I'm here to. So 10 years ago, I was trying to get to a place where I am now.
Yeah.
And now that I'm where I am, I'm trying to weave out some certain spots where I don't, I refuse to play. I mean, like, if the money's fine, if the money's there, I'll do it.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to do it for a certain amount of money.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad that it's in your mind and you're thinking about the future, the transition, because I know a lot of people, they don't think that way. They just think that I got 5 gigs this week and I got 5 gigs next week, and that's all that they're focused on, and they just keep riding.
There's a lot of ordinary people out there who are very, very cool and they have great lives, but that's just not for me. Like, I want to keep growing. I have visions every day of where I want to be 12 months from now, or 5 months from now.
That's dope.
I think about where I'm going to be this Christmas, where I'm going to be this summer, where I'm going to be in 2 months.
Yeah.
I'm going to California to a songwriting production expo that I paid for. Let me put that out there right now. I paid for to be there. Everybody that's going to be there is paying for it.
Yeah.
And I'm going out there and people are going to listen to my music. Executives, people that are dealing with, these bigwigs. And I'm probably going to get rejected and my feelings are going to get hurt, but I've got thicker skin now. So, that's just part of the game. You just got to keep getting better. It's just, I'm getting uncomfortable. I'm very uncomfortable right now.
Yeah.
To be honest with you. I'm very uncomfortable right now in this month with all the workload that I have.
Yeah.
So hustling. That's another part of this business that people don't see, is the hustle.
Right.
There are days when I wake up and I'm like, I don't want to hustle, but I have to.
Yeah.
And I have to go out and cold call. I have to email. I have to text people. I have to stay in the loop. I got to be in people's fresh in their minds.
Yeah.
I gotta make a living.
Yeah.
I don't want to go back to a 9 to 5. I'm not. We're on this floating rock. I'm not gonna go back and work for somebody else. That ain't happening.
Yeah. You sound like me 100%, man. Like,
I ain't working for anybody else ever again, because that never worked out to begin with. That really wasn't my speed. That wasn't my jive. That's just not who I am.
Yeah.
I don't want to work for somebody else breathing down my damn neck.
You sound exactly like me, man. But you gotta be, I always say, you have to learn to be comfortable at being uncomfortable. Like, I feel like a lot of people in this world, they're too comfortable, or a lot of times people don't want to step out and see what could maybe happen because of that uncomfortableness. But once you start to get uncomfortable and you try and do different things, that's when you grow. That's when doors open. That's when you realize that, like, you're doing things that other people aren't doing.
Right.
Yeah, that's all about it. And the hustle, like, the phone calls, the text messages, the always being in people's faces.
I mean, there's always something to do, really. There's always something to do. Like, if I'm not working out, I'm texting people like, hey, let's book this, or hey, what's up with this gig, or hey, what's the status on this? If I'm not playing with my dogs, which is what I consider leisurely time. All right. If I'm in reading, that's when I'm relaxed. That's what I do. I'm still feeding my head with information. Like, I never thought I'd be a big reader 5 years ago, but now, past 3 years, I've read over 150, 200 books. So, and most of them are, they're development books, self-help. Some of them are novels, some of them are biographies, You gotta spread them out, but man, I'm always constantly doing something. I mean, I think that's the key to success, is just don't get complacent, don't get lazy. And I'm not even close to where I want to be right now.
What's going on, guys? Sun 5 Films here. If you live in Charleston or the surrounding areas and you need a videographer, please let me know. Whether it's a wedding, corporate event, live performance, I do a little bit of everything. So once again, please let me know. Now let's get back to the interview. You're watching Sun 5 Films TV. So, I'm appreciating the the talks of like wanting to get better and improving and doing all those things, man. Because anybody who even knows me a little bit knows I preach that all the time, like getting better and improving and doing all these things. So how did you even get to that? Like, were you always like that? Did you always have that?
No,
like,
I was a horrible student, like a C average student.
Right.
I hated school, never applied myself. I don't know, like, because in college I was a better student. So I was a better student in high school than I was in middle school and elementary school, believe it or not. And I was a better student in college. So I guess, I don't know when I got the bug. I guess I saw people, I started growing up. I just started seeing people that were better than me applying themselves, and it just kind of got inspired.
Right.
I can't tell you the exact moment, but if I thought about it, if you give me like a week, I could probably figure out when it happened.
Yeah. That's kind of like me, like over the years, like, you know, you think about the things that you want out of life, and you grow up a little bit, and then you have a family, and then you just think about the future, and then like being successful and getting better and having goals for yourselves. The one thing that was cool to me when I came to your house when we filmed in your studio, I saw that you had like goals written down.
Yeah, vision boards. I have a vision, I have goals, I have reminders. So when I work out, I listen to music. I do, but I listen to a lot of podcasts. I listen to a lot of motivational videos. And, you know, I listen to like a lot of like Tony Robbins, Tony Robbins, Les Brown, Gary Vaynerchuk, Steve Harvey. All these guys have great motivational YouTube channels. Dave Ramsey. These are all people that I look up to. They're all my heroes. And one thing that they all have in common is they have vision boards.
Right.
Okay. And if you don't have, you need to look at something every day.
Yeah.
You need to look at it. I have it on my phone, so I can pull it up real quick for you. Okay. This is my 2024 vision board. Okay. You can't see it, I bet, but you can see that.
Right.
You can see that. I look at it every day. All right. I have it on my desktop computer, on my studio.
Right.
And then I have it, I think, on my iPad or my laptop. All right. So you got to look at it every day.
That's dope.
So you look at it every day and you realize, okay.
You got to see it. Like
you got to see it.
People, you got to see it.
You can't just create a vision board and throw it away. Yeah. You got to see it. I walk up. So I got it in my studio where I walk up and I see it. If it's the first thing I see in my studio, walk up, take a left, and on my wall, it's there again. It's my old one though. It's not my new one.
Yeah.
But I keep changing it. And then on the left screen of I've got two screens in my studio. On the left one, I have my goals written down for 2024. You know, stay positive, don't overthink. You know, make this amount of money, pay off your Wrangler.
Right.
So I paid off my wife's car this past year. It only has 18,000 miles. I paid that shit off. All right. Can I say shit?
You can say whatever you want.
Let's see. I also, you know, I have like, you know, go visit 2 international countries. One's already paid for. All right. The other goal I have is get a placement. That we'll talk about that later. I'm sure I don't want to get too ahead of myself here. And then read 50 books, practice guitar an hour a day, practice Spanish for half an hour a day, which I'm keeping up with that. What's it today? We're in January, so.
That's dope, man. I love it, man, because that's me, man. I write down monthly goals. I write down yearly goals. And my monthly goals, you know, they're usually just smaller things that could be done within a couple of weeks. And those yearly goals are those big things that's going to probably take me almost all year to get done. You know, so like I love seeing people. Like it's crazy, man, how many people that just they don't have goals. And
I think they need to get mentors. And I think that actually goes back to your question. When did you start getting serious about, you know, I think it's because I had people helping me out. I have like 4 or 5 mentors that I look up to, and I talk to them on a weekly basis, and they check up with me, I check up with them, and they ask me for advice now. It's crazy, like, because they see that they help me, and I think you need to surround yourself with people that you want that are more successful than you. About who you hang out with. I mean, I've hung out with people in the wrong crowd before, and it got me nowhere. But it was fun at the time. But you have to grow up.
Yeah, I've said before that I feel lonely a lot of times.
Oh yeah.
And not lonely.
This is a lonely career.
Not lonely in the sense of not people being around or me not having people that I could talk to and reach out to, but lonely in the sense of people don't think like how I think. They don't want what I want. I don't know a lot of people who have goals. When I sit down and talk to people, they tell me about they're going to the bar, or they're watching a football game, or they're about to go take a nap, like, which is cool.
I take naps. I have to take naps.
That's cool.
I
but
haven't taken a nap this week, but I take naps.
But like, I'm just saying, like, when I talk to people a lot of times, they just talk to me about like things to me that aren't what it's not my everyday way of living, way of thinking. Like when I'm sitting down talking about like, what am I going to accomplish this week, and what did I get done, and what am I trying to do next month? When I sit and talk to people, like a lot of times, I feel like we don't have anything to talk about. There's like a disconnect. That's why I feel like that's the loneliness. The loneliness of people when they have big dreams, big goals, they're trying to be successful. You're gonna be alone a lot.
Well, you got to find people that match your energy,
right?
And that's hard to find. But those people out there. Some people don't have that drive, and they look forward to that football game, and that's the best part of their week, and that's totally fine. But that's just not who I am, or you probably.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's go back a little bit.
Yeah.
Because we kind of went off and started talking about goals, which is a great topic, but we didn't even dive into like really talking about like, I know you play solo, but you have been in bands and are part of bands and different groups.
Yeah.
So let's talk about some of those groups that you.
Well, I think that's one of the reasons why I've been pretty persistent with music or this job, staying busy, is because I involve myself in more than just one project. So I don't only just do solo gigs. I have a duo with Marky. I have me and Mr. Jones, Return of the Mac. I have me and Mr. Jones with Elise. I work with Jillian Cohn, who does the jazz thing. She's great at that. She's the vintage vixen of jazz. And then I also, I work with anybody that wants to collaborate. So I always used to think that working alone would be the best way to go, and it sometimes is. But collaborating is much sweeter. Do the Emerald Empire bands. That's always fun. That's fun because you don't have to. You just show up and play. You don't have to deal with anybody. There are people above you that take care of all that. You show up and play. You get to play with different musicians that you've never played with, and you find out 99% of the time it's a success. There's a few gigs that just didn't vibe too well, but
and those are usually weddings, or
those are always weddings.
Always weddings.
Actually, there's every now and then there's corporate Christmas parties, But you gotta just branch out. I think. If you're doing the same thing every week, you're gonna find yourself kind of just on the same road.
Yeah. How did those bands form? Because those are all great people. I know everybody.
With me and Jillian, she was my neighbor.
Okay.
I saw her sing. She sent me a video. We started working together. I started booking gigs. And then she evolved on herself. She worked with herself. She started doing things on her own, which I'm very proud of her.
I remember I filmed something for her, and y'all were doing it together downtown. That was a couple of years ago. I forget what.
Yeah, what was that?
I can't remember, but I remember.
Oh yeah. That was the Elliott Mini. That was the 50 show. That we did at the Elliott Borough Mini Bar.
Right, yeah.
So with Elise, she used to watch me and Marky play at Henry's on Wednesday nights when we played there from 2009 to 2016.
Yeah.
No wait, 2018. We stopped. So we played there for 9 years straight every Wednesday. It was insane. And she used to come play, and then one night Marky couldn't play, and I just didn't want to sing. I was like, "Hey, you wanna play this gig with me?" And then we did a little rehearsal. I was like, "Let me see your song list," and I just started learning, and it just went from there. One gig turns into another. You start booking gigs, you make promo videos, and then boom, 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 your calendar starts filling up. And then, when I can't do a gig, I recommend another guitar player to her. And then she, everything just branches out, It's a domino effect. I help you, you help me. Me and Marky have been playing together since 2009. We started doing gigs late 2009. We had met on King Street when he was down at whatever bar it was then. It's Republic now. And I was at Silver Dollar. And you just, back then there was no there was social media, it's just not what it was like, today. So I think we exchanged, flip phone numbers or BlackBerry numbers, whatever it was back in 2009. BlackBerry. And that's just, and then you just meet musicians. I mean, that's,
What do you think about the Charleston scene? Because you've been around for a while. I think the
Charleston scene, man, there are musicians that are this astronomically better than me, like at singing, at playing guitar. There's a mecca of just incredibly talented, hardworking musicians in this town. I think Charleston, South Carolina, next to Key West, is probably the best place to make a living as a musician in this country. I don't know why. Probably because of the wedding market.
Yeah. Always good weather.
Because I think Key West, their tourism down there, and the weather's always nice. So there's always live music. But Charleston, minus the hurricane season, you're gonna have great music all the time.
Yeah. What's the difference between, I guess, not just Beaufort, but just like that area of like Beaufort, Hilton Head, Bluffton? Just
the wedding. Like everybody wants to get married down here because it's beautiful. Everybody loves the coastal South, the Low Country.
Yeah, no, I'm saying what would be the differences as far as like, you said it's so great to do gigs here, and it's so great to be able to be successful doing it here, even like in Savannah, because we're pretty close on size with Savannah. Like why is Charleston? Why would you think that Charleston be a little bit better?
Because Charleston has become, what is it? Connie Nast, that magazine, rates us the best city in the world. So everybody wants to get married here. I think it's the wedding destination that makes it. We have a lot of festivals. We have these food and wine festivals, Spoleto. We have always something going on.
Yeah.
And not to say that other cities don't, but Charleston has some sort of magical charm to us. It's it's not a big city, but it's big enough to make some sort of movement. We just have an incredible music scene here, and there's so many venues. I mean, first of all, Charleston is it's just a compound for just the best food in the country. So if you have food, people want to hear live music.
Right.
So that's my theory on why we're able to make a good living down here as a musician. But there are limits to being a cover band musician. I mean, I think tribute shows is the highest limit that you can get to. I think that's anything you can't go past. Like if you were trying to make some good money playing other people's music, tribute bands, tribute shows, that's the limit.
Yeah.
I mean, it goes, bar gigs, birthday parties, restaurants, corporate events, weddings, tribute shows.
Yeah.
And that's it. Like there's nothing. I mean, really can't do anything with other people's music.
Yeah, so what about, I guess we could go ahead and transition into, original music, because I know you do some of your own original music. And also, I guess, since you were talking about the limit of what Charleston, like, what you can do here, like, why isn't there a lot of people doing original music here? Or trying?
Well, there are people that are doing original music. They're just not, it's just not like Nashville yet. It's not Los Angeles. It's not New York. It's not. But with with the internet and social media, and people being able to Zoom with each other, you can write music. I've written songs with people in Australia. Okay, it'll be 10 p.m. Eastern time. It'll be 12 lunchtime the next day in Australia, and we're writing music together.
And that was the 400? Is that the 400 club you're in?
So it's called the Billboard 500 Club.
500
it's a mentorship, and there's about 200 members in there right now. And I'm embarking on a huge program this year where I'm going to be working with executives and mentors, other mentors that are going to help me become the best producer that you can be.
Right.
They're shaping me into becoming a top tier producer.
So for a person who's listening right now and you say the 500 Club, like how does somebody get involved in that? How does somebody?
You go to Billboard 500club.com
Right.
and you fill out an application. That's it.
Yeah.
You got to submit music. You got to submit, you got to have some sort of, your music's got to be pretty okay to get in. Okay, it doesn't have to be like mind blowing.
And there's only 500. That's right, 500 people, right?
Only 500 people can.
That's how it
as
goes.
soon as they get to the 500 person, they're closing it. They're done.
Oh, so they haven't even got to 500.
No, they haven't. It's only been it's 4-year club right now.
So
But
how
I mean,
do you,
like there have been a lot of people that have joined and had to drop out because
out.
either financial issues or because they just don't need to be in the club anymore.
Yeah. How does it get to the point that like say you want to work with somebody? Like how do you go about like I want to work with this person or?
Well, there's an app that's connected to the club called Heartbeat, and anybody that's in the club, you just message them and like, hey, I've got a production bed here. I've got a song that needs top lining, that needs vocals and lyrics. Can you help me? Let's collaborate. Do you want to collaborate on this, or do you want to write something from scratch? And there's camps every 2 weeks, a writing camp that they put you together. It's random. Like they're like, hey, we're gonna put you with these 2 people, and here's what you got to do. Here's the assignment.
Right.
And then you get critiqued. They have mentors that talk to people on what to do, like how to make better beats, how to write better lyrics, how to write better melodies. I mean, it's one of the best career moves I've ever made.
Yeah.
And I've invested in it. It's not cheap. So, get yourself a mentor, okay? If you want to succeed in this life, get yourself a mentor. That's what you got to do.
Or you can bust your ass like me.
Bust your ass, but mentors help.
Yeah, mentors do help, man. Or you could just bust your ass like me and see what happens.
Bust your ass and get mentors, and that's the formula to success.
Yeah. So like it kind of sounds like, it's like a school in a sense.
It's like a university. It's definitely like a university.
Like I went to Full Sail, and that kind of sounds similar in the sense of what Full Sail kind of is, without actually physically being in school. And I think now at this point, because I went to Full Sail a long time ago, I believe now they even have like an online program or online way that you could get your degree. So.
Yeah. Well, these mentors are telling you real life experiences on how to deal with executives and how to write emails to these people, how to write the right kind of song that brings attention to people, like to the how to get a publishing deal, or how to write the best song for an artist. Well, I'm competing with people. I'm competing with Timbaland right now. That's my competition. All right.
Right.
I'm not saying that. I mean, I'm light years away from that. But I'm competing with Ryan Tedder, Timbaland, all these major producers,
right.
Jack Antonoff, all these people that I look up to. That's my competition. Yeah. And then the artists that I'm working with, they're competing with Adele, Ed Sheeran, Taylor Swift, all the big names.
Yeah. So how does it get to the point that, like, say you do work with somebody and then y'all put a song together?
Mm-hmm.
What are y'all doing next? Are y'all trying to get it on the radio?
Well, I'm building a catalog is what I'm doing. So to really play the game, you've got to have about 300 really good songs. And that sounds crazy. And it is crazy. It's crazy. But if you really want to play the game, and you want to pitch your songs to briefs, which is like, hey, we're looking for this kind of song for a TV show or for a movie, then you've got to have about 300 really good songs. Some people will tell you 100. Yeah. That's cool too, but I think 300 is a safe number.
Yeah.
300 really good songs. And I'm building my catalog every year. I've got about 50 good songs. I don't know. I think they're pretty good.
Okay.
All right. So give me about 10 years and I'll be where I need to be.
Damn. So how do
it takes 10 years.
Yeah.
It's a 10. Ever talk to anybody? Any overnight success is 10 years.
Yeah. So how do you get in these rooms? Are you like, say you have a song or you have these 300 songs and you think they're amazing and you want them to be heard, or you want something to get in a movie?
Well,
like, who are you reaching out to?
Well, you get a song placed, and then you get it placed again.
But who are you calling? Who are you like? I got this song.
I'm not calling anybody. I'm getting brief. So in this club, they send you briefs. They're like, all right, so we're gonna send you an email. We're looking for this kind of song. Do you have it? And then you're competing with other people. The competition is tough, man. It's just not. this is on the level of trying to be as successful as a brain surgeon. I think.
Yeah.
it's insane, but it takes a lot of hard work.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that's the truth of the matter.
But they bring you the people who are like, they're looking for this.
Yeah.
You can give them
so these mentors that I'm working with give you the formula. They
Right.
give you the exact information you need to write a hit song, or a song that can be placed in a Netflix show or Hulu show or whatever, Peacock or whatever you watch. I'm
Right.
sure you watch Netflix, Hulu,
Right.
Amazon Prime. There's a bunch of shows there, man.
Yeah.
I mean, we're living in the best time for television. Believe it or not. This is the best time because there's so many shows, so many streaming platforms. TV is king right now.
Yeah.
Like cinema is not king. TV is king. So
Yeah.
and when you watch a show and you're listening to some music, somebody wrote that song, somebody produced it. So, like you're listening to a song you never heard. Like I like that song. You want to write a Shazamable song.
Right.
That's what you want. You want to be able to pull up your phone, Shazam it, and be like, that's a badass song.
Yeah.
That's the level you want to get to as a producer, as an artist, as a songwriter.
Yeah.
And that's the level I'm trying to get to.
Did you always want to do that when you started, like, say you were...
So I never wanted to write original music. 10 years ago, or well, let's say 15, 16 years ago when I was playing bar gigs, I was like, I just want to play guitar. I just want to make money. I want to have fun. But you get tired of that. That gets old after a while, man. It gets old. So playing weddings and playing these corporate gigs are fun. It's great. You feel special because hey, you're performing, you're entertaining, you're getting paid good money.
Yeah.
But eventually, I don't care who you are, what you do.
Yeah.
With anything, it's going to become work. Okay.
Yeah,
so you want to grow. Like I'm at a place now where I can play any venue and I can successfully entertain somebody for 3 to 4 hours, okay? Not that I don't want to do it anymore, but there's times where I'm just like, I'd rather be in my studio creating music. I want to be there. That's where I want to be. Yeah. And that's the next step that I'm supposed to take, all right? And maybe 20 years from now, I'll be doing what I want to be doing 10 years from now.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to be like, well, now I want to win an Academy Award or a Grammy, all right? I want to accept an Academy Award for Best Original Song, and I want to be up there.
Evolving.
That's where that's it. Just like in this, the hunger for success really. I mean, honestly, if I got a placement this year, and I died the next day, I'd be a happy person. I'd consider that a massive success.
Right.
But I just wanted to I think, man, I just want to get a place where I just want to, get some mailbox money. Yeah. And I'll be very happy. But I know once that comes rolling in, which I know it will, because I'm not going to give up.
Right.
It will one day.
Yeah.
It's going to happen. I'll make, I could get $2,000, $3,000 check, maybe 50, maybe 100. After that, at some point, I'm going to have bigger goals.
Right. That's how it should
I'm going to be like, I want to work with, Dr. Dre or somebody.
Hey. It's awesome that you're speaking the way that you are, because like how I said earlier, a lot of people, their dream is to even leave their room, leave their basement, and go play and let people hear them. And then I think the people, if they ever even get that chance, they get comfortable. They get to the point that like, I'm doing what I love to do. I'm not clocking in, working 40, 50 hours a week, and they're just happy with that. And the fact that you're saying all of these things and all these goals that you have and know that you're trying to move on to the next step, like I love to hear stuff.
You got to be realistic with your dreams too. They got to be attainable dreams. You can't just wake up and be like, "Oh, I want to play a 300,000 person stadium like Taylor Swift does." Yeah. All right. You're not going to do that in 1 year, okay? It's going to take you a long time to get there. All right? So me getting to 300 songs and starting to like play the game and getting a publishing deal with somebody where all I have to do is create music and send it off, and then I just cannot wait to get to the place where I just wake up and I can create music with people around the world, okay? because I'm already doing that now, but I would love to just make a living off of that.
Yeah.
All right, and I know people that do that. That's the crazy thing is I know that those are the people that I look up to right now.
Yeah.
Those are the people that are helping me out, you know, and I'm paying them for that service, and that's how it should be. So because people pay me to entertain them for their wedding or their cocktail hour or their corporate, you know, that's what I'm doing now, and eventually I'm going to be able to sit where they're sitting,
Right.
and I'll be able to live a more fulfilling life. I mean, I'm fulfilled now, but it'll be just, you know, I'll be growing and continuing to grow.
What's going on, guys? Sun5 Films here. If you made it this far into the interview, thank you. But don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. Now let's get back to the interview. You're watching Sun5 Films TV. So there's just so many different things that you do, and like I know there's more things we haven't even touched on yet. And you were talking about how you are doing original music and working with a lot of people, but you also have your own studio, and you're trying to work with people and get people in your studio as well, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not trying to do like full band rock albums, you know, where it's like 12 tracks or anything like that, but I want to help people, you know, do demos, and I do have vocalists that come in and lay down tracks. I have actually somebody coming in tomorrow and Tuesday, and what's amazing is everybody that's walked into my studio that I've worked with is really professional, has their shit together,
Right.
and knocks it out within an hour.
Yeah.
So I don't have to sit there and just try and like, you know, take after take. Because I know from experience, like I'm not good in the vocal booth. Like I'm scared of the vocal booth. It's difficult to sing and try and hit, you know, the right notes. But these guys are really, really good singers. But yeah, I have done guitar tracks. I spend all of my time pretty much if I'm not in, you know, with my wife or with my dogs or my stepson, or not on vacation, or not playing gigs. I'm in that damn studio working. Right now I'm doing an audio book.
Yeah.
So I'm doing that with Marky Morant. He just released a book. So I'm doing the audio book, 400 pages, and that's a lot of work, but hey, we got to get it done.
Yes, sir.
Got to add another audio book to the resume, because that's another career that I'd like to get down, is just doing nothing but audiobooks.
Yeah.
I would consider that production work.
Yeah. There's a lot of different avenues, man. Like I tell people, like we have our dreams, the things that we want to do. And I say don't necessarily give up or necessarily think that other doors can't open because what you originally wanted to do didn't work. Like I know some people who you might want to be the biggest singer in the world, and then the door opens that you're a producer. So, you know, like I always tell people, like, it doesn't mean that you have to give up or quit, or what you originally wanted to do was what you were supposed to do. Maybe it was never what you were supposed to do to begin with.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I still pinch myself. I can't believe, like I say this to myself every week, I can't believe I can pay my mortgage playing guitar and singing. Like it's like, I just can't believe that I can do that. Like it feels like I don't deserve to do that sometimes, because, you know, there's a lot of people out there who work really hard to make a living. Yeah. You know? It's really just like, and I'm like blessed. Like I'm very grateful that I get to do what I get to do, because, you know, in college, I had no idea I'd see myself doing this and being able to afford a trip to Spain, you know, or in Morocco for 2 weeks just because I play guitar. That's awesome. You know? But getting back to the production thing, you know, 10 years from now, I really want to just be in that studio working every day. And like, I never thought I'd be doing audiobooks. All right, I've done 4. This is my 4th one. I never even thought that could be an option, but hell, you know, I can't wait to see what else happens.
Yeah, man. One door opens another.
Yeah, just like, so I'm, you know, right now I'm just, as we speak, I'm building a catalog and working with as many artists that take it as seriously as I do. Because in this club, I only work with people that have the same energy as I do. If you don't have the same energy, then I don't have time. Like I need that matched energy.
Yeah. And also you do like lessons lessons with guitar. Like,
I teach guitar lessons. I love teaching serious students. You know, I'm not there to babysit. I love teaching. I've got all walks of life, man. I got an 11-year-old who kicks ass at guitar. He's really into it. Yeah. You know, he's into a lot of things, but he's really into the guitar. I've got an 80-year-old, retired doctor who's really into it. Everybody I teach now is really into learning the guitar, and I enjoy teaching them because I can see it on their face that they really want it that bad.
And you have a family, man. How do you balance all of these things?
Well, I don't have my stepson stays with us on the weekends now, so I'm able to put a lot of time into my career. And my wife, who really supports my career, doesn't really care because she likes to spend time alone. So luckily I found somebody that doesn't have to be wined and dined on a weekly basis.
Yeah.
All right.
But I mean, you do it like you said. You have the studio, you have the gigs, you have different bands that you're part of. How does that?
Well, I make time for them. I make time ahead of, we got vacation coming up this summer. Several trips, so you got to put time in that. You got to just plan ahead if you can. Sometimes you can't plan ahead. Sometimes you don't know what's going to happen, but you have to put some effort into putting time in for everything that matters to you.
Yeah. That's hard, man. That's my struggle. My struggle is the balance, but
yeah, it's a struggle, but you've got to find the balance. Yeah. You'll eventually find the rhythm with that balance.
Yeah.
If you're not there yet.
Not there yet, man. But I guess you talked about it a little bit, but when you're super old, super gray, sitting down in that rocking chair, like, what do you want to look back at on your life? And I guess also, what do you feel like your purpose is?
Well, I think my purpose is just to be somebody that created great music that was, I want somebody to be like, I wish Chris was still here. I want somebody to say that, I want to be remembered as a nice person, somebody, I haven't always been the best friend or best husband. I mean, I don't think anybody is 24/7, but, I think as we get older, we grow and mature. I want to be somebody I'm remembered as just genuinely nice person. Somebody that created great music and worked hard, had no regrets, lived life to the fullest. And I want to be somebody that, I did things on my own terms, not because I had to do it because of somebody else's life.
Okay.
So, and spend time with your loved ones and see the world.
Yeah.
I think it's important to see the world.
Okay.
Different cultures, different, Yeah. I think everybody needs to get a passport and leave this country for a little while.
Okay. What's the best piece of advice that you ever learned or someone told you? What's the best piece of advice?
Enjoy the journey, trust the process, and don't give up. Study, work hard, trust the process, enjoy the journey, don't give up.
Okay. What's one thing that not a lot of people know about you? Or maybe it could be something that people think about you and it's not necessarily true. It might just be that misconception.
That I have it all together, because I don't. The social media looks like I have, everything all together, because the thing is I don't ever dish out my dirty laundry on social media like some people do. If I have a bad experience, I'm not going to tell the whole world, like with a club or a gig. I'll tell people, but I'm not going to tell the whole world.
Yeah.
So I don't have it all together. I do get nervous. I do get cranky. I do have my moments.
Right.
And I'm just a human being just trying to make it like everybody else.
Yeah. Okay, before we get out of here, man, I definitely want you to, leave us with anything that you want the people to know, or anything that, you want to have, anything that you want to say, give your contacts and everything like that.
Yeah, find me at chrisdodsonmusic.com, at chrisdodsonmusic on Instagram. Find me on Facebook, add me. And bless you, and may 2024 bring you nothing but love and happiness.
Yes, sir, man. If you don't know the face by now, I am Sunfire Films. I got Chris Dodson with me.
Thank you for having me.
You're watching Sunfire Films TV.
That's my daddy.